How's it going, guys? JP here, and welcome to another UFC predictions video. We are talking UFC 166, Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez 3. That's right, the trilogy fight, it's finally happening. Junior Dos Santos and Cain Velasquez are very, extremely talented heavyweight fighters. Two of the best, if not the best, debatably, uh, heavyweights of all time. And, it has potential to be one of the coolest rivalries ever, especially if this third fight is good. So yeah, I'm gonna do the predictions for the main card and the Fox Sports 1 preliminary card. I'll leave the Facebook and YouTube card out of it. I believe I went 14-7 last time for the. Overall, I'm 14-7, so not too bad. But anyway, let's start off with the first fight on the Fox Sports 1 card. We have George Staudaropoulos versus KJ Noons, and both of these guys are on losing streaks. I believe KJ Noons is like, one out of his last 7 fights, or one out of his last 6 fights, or something like that. So he's definitely on a not doing so good. I believe he's only had one fight in the UFC. I know he lost that close decision to Ryan Couture in the last Strikeforce event, which I know a lot of people, including myself, gave it to KJ Noons. And then I believe he lost to somebody else who is slipping me right now recently. But he's fighting George Staudaropoulos, who at one time was somebody who I remember thinking was pretty talented and you know. Had a lot of potential to make some waves in the lightweight division. Very good jiu-jitsu guy, and I don't know if old age got to him, but his chin just doesn't hold up. I mean, he looked terrible in his fight with Ross Pearson after the Australian Ultimate Fighter fight, and I believe I'm almost certain that he was actually knocked out by one of the coaches on that season of The Ultimate Fighter behind the scenes. So his chin probably isn't too too good anymore. I think that he's mid-30s. I think he has to be mid-30s. So anyway, I'm talking a bit too much about these. I gotta roll through some of them, but I'm picking KJ Noons in this one. I just think he's the more durable, tougher fighter. Soteropoulos could grab a submission, but I really would put all my eggs in the basket of KJ Noons, and I think that the loser's probably going to leave town on this one. I would like to see if George Staudaropoulos loses, I think he should just retire because he just seems like he's not going to really go anywhere if he gets released from the UFC. So yeah, George Staudaropoulos is going to lose to KJ Noons. Next up, we have women's bantamweight fight, Sarah Kaufman versus Jessica Evil Eye. And I'm not overly familiar with Jessica Eye. I did catch a few of her Bellator fights, like 2. I believe she was a 125-pounder, though. So I think she's moving up to the 35s. Sarah Kaufman, of course, is, very well-rounded and, lost to Rousey with that, armbar right away, which was kind of surprising that it happened so fast. But at the same time, that's Ronda Rousey's game. Um, I'm gonna have to go with Sarah Kaufman on this one. Um, I, th- I think the, coming up to 135, might be a factor with Jessica I do hear that she's really good, though. I really am not that familiar with her. I'm just gonna have to go with the more familiar fighter to me, and I'm gonna go with Sarah Kaufman. So yeah. Then we have welterweights Nate Marquardt versus Hector Lombard, who's actually dropping down from 185, which is interesting. Um, I didn't get a chance to watch the weigh-ins, so I don't know how he looks. But I'm gonna pick Hector Lombard anyway because I think that this is a better weight class for him if he made the weight decently. Um, you know, he had a lot of muscle. So if he got down in a good way, I don't know if he was working with Mike Dolce or anybody like that, but um, I probably should have paid attention to the weigh-ins and stuff. But if his weight cut went good and stuff, I don't see why he should lose this fight to Nate Marquardt. Nate Marquardt looked really good in the fight when he won the Strikeforce belt, and then when he lost the belt to who was that? Tarek Safadine maybe, or I could be completely wrong. But I think that's who it was. He got leg kicked to hell and back, and it just didn't look like he was able to do anything. And I just I don't know. I'm just feeling Lombard on this one. I think Lombard wins by knockout. After that, we have middleweights Tim Boetsch versus CB Dollaway, and both these guys are wrestlers. Tim Boetsch being the tougher one, more durable guy. Both these guys have a common opponent in Mark Muniz, and Tim Boetsch. That was his last fight, and he kind of just got manhandled a bit. CB Dollaway, though, got knocked out by Mark Muniz, and I know 1+1 doesn't equal 2 in MMA math, but I don't see why Tim Boetsch can't win this fight, so I'm going to go with him. Next up, we have flyweights John Dodson versus Daryl Montague. And I'm going to go with John Dodson just simply because the dude got some heavy hands for a flyweight, and I really think that he can beat Mighty Mouse at one point in time. He's still young, and I think that he can beat Mighty Mouse or whoever's champion. I thought he did great for his first title fight, and I'm looking to see him go on another run here and get the belt. So John Dodson, that's who I'm picking. And then we got heavyweights Gabriel Gonzaga versus Sean Jordan. I don't know. See, I was originally thinking Gabriel Gonzaga, but I think I'm going to go with Sean Jordan on this one. And yeah, I'm going to go with Sean Jordan. After that, we have lightweights Gilbert Melendez versus Diego Sanchez. This could definitely be fight of the night. If Diego brings it, and Gilbert, who I think will definitely bring it, if he brings it, this could definitely be fight of the night. This is a very interesting fight to me. I used to be a huge Diego Sanchez fan. I loved the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. Just, he was one of the fighters I followed all the way through there. We used to put on, exciting fights. The Clay Guida Diego Sanchez fight was very memorable, and both of those fighters seemed to just go away from what made them so exciting. And Diego Sanchez, I just don't think has anything for Gilbert Melendez. I don't see any way Gilbert loses this fight. I think he beats him everywhere. Diego Sanchez, I would like to see him, I wouldn't mind seeing Diego Sanchez win, to be honest, because, like I said, I am a fan of him. But I'm also a fan of Gilbert Melendez. I think that he should be champion right now, or at least, should have fought Pettis for the belt, because I seriously thought that he beat Benson Henderson. Yeah, Gilbert Melendez, that's who I'm picking. After that, we have heavyweights Daniel Cormier versus Roy Nelson. This fight is very interesting to me because I'm not overly familiar with Daniel Cormier. I've only seen 2 of his fights, and it was his last Strikeforce fight, and then I seen his Frank Mir fight. And honestly, the Frank Mir fight wasn't that impressive. He was able to neutralize Frank Mir, push him up against the cage, but that was pretty much it. I mean, there wasn't much else happening for me to really judge Daniel Cormier. Roy Nelson, on the other hand, has a great chin. He looks weird. His jiu-jitsu's sick. I'm not really sure what Cormier is going to do. Is he going to stand and trade with him? Is he going to, clinch? Or is he going to use his, fantastic wrestling? It's just a very hard one for me to choose. I mean, I don't see Roy Nelson knocking Daniel Cormier out, and I think that Daniel Cormier will easily out-decision him. But then again, could Roy Nelson pull the upset and knock Daniel Cormier out? I mean, he could, but I just don't see it happen. I'm going to go with Daniel Cormier on this one. So hopefully Cormier gets this win, drops down to 205. We need some new challenges down there. Even though Gustafsson, oh man, I can't wait for that to eventually happen if Jones gets past Teixeira. Which really quickly, I think that that's actually a good thing that they're holding off on the rematch instead of an immediate rematch. It, builds up the fight a bit, and if it gives Jones a tough opponent, but not a unbeatable opponent in Glover Teixeira. So I just hope that something bad doesn't happen and we never see the Gustafsson Jones 2 match. That would just not be cool. Um, and finally, on to the main event, we have heavyweights Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. Whew. The first fight, Junior Dos Santos knocks out Cain Velasquez in like a minute. The second fight, Cain Velasquez destroys Junior Dos Santos for 5 5-minute rounds. That's pretty interesting, right? I mean, because it shows that Junior Dos Santos could end the fight at any time. But it also shows that Cain Velasquez can completely outskill Junior Dos Santos, at least in that fight he did. So he can do it. Will he do it? I don't know. Will Junior Dos Santos knock him out? I don't know. He could. This is just such a hard pick for me because I think that if Junior Dos Santos won by a quick knockout again, it could set up the potential for a fourth fight, which would just be amazing if this turned into something that huge. Um, but if Cain Velasquez goes in there and does the same thing that he did before, and just beat Junior Dos Santos for 5 5-minute rounds, or even finishes him in the third or fourth round, then I think that ends the trilogy. And where does Junior Dos Santos go from there? So it's kind of a sad thought because I really like Junior Dos Santos. I mean, as long as Cain Velasquez would still be champion, I don't see him getting another shot unless this fight is close or Junior wins. Then I could see Cain getting another shot because how dominant he was in the second fight. So, but my gut is telling me Cain Velasquez, third round TKO, KO. I see it happening much like the second fight, except for I see Cain putting him away once it gets, into the third round. So that's my predictions for UFC 166, guys. It should be a fantastic card. I just hope, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch this card. I got work on Sunday, and Sundays are the busiest, and I don't know if I'm gonna stay up to watch the fights. I did stay up and watch the Jones Gustafsson fight, and I didn't regret it. So I'm gonna try, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. So I just thought I'd give my predictions anyway. I'll check you guys later, and peace.